Peter, thanks so much for being here this morning as well as we're trying to piece what's going on out of Boston. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So tell us about the Tripwire program that the FBI has been developing over the past few years.
Right. I mean, the purpose of this is just to ensure that whenever a dealer in potential bomb ingredients, such as a fertilizer or whatever, sees some suspicious transactions, that they notify the FBI, or when somebody is trying to transport some of these materials in large quantities, that they notify authorities. And it has been successful in several cases in deterring would-be bombers. So this is actually the first time in quite a few years that the U.S. has had this kind of successful bombing go off at a public event like this. And I think one question that will be asked is, was there some kind of flaw in the Tripwire system?
And explain to us in more detail how the program actually works, in a sense that if there are chemicals or ingredients used in bomb making bought at a particularly high volume, those businesses will then alert authorities. It seems like a pretty interesting program. Tell us more about how that exactly plays out.
Well, we saw it in the case of one fellow, a Saudi guy in the United States, who actually tripped 2 wires in the same day, one from a dealer in ingredients, and then also the same day someone who saw a suspicious shipping transaction from the same guy alerted the FBI, and they got a search warrant. They went through his computers and found information suggesting that he did want to carry out some kind of terrorist attack in the United States, and he was arrested. So it can be a successful system. Another example is the Times Square bomber, who actually was given a menu or a recipe for bomb making by his handlers in Pakistan, but then he said he couldn't follow that recipe because he was afraid he'd be caught by the FBI. So he had to go for less effective ingredients. And in the events at Times Square, what happened is that his bomb didn't go off. It smoked a little bit. That caught the attention of the bystanders, and the van was seized and captured without anybody being injured.
Has the FBI had to adjust this program in terms of what tripwires it's looking for as the bomb making gets more sophisticated, or changes in how these bombs are made, or what they know to be in the bombs that these would-be bombers are trying to make?
That's right. For example, the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing, which was by far the most devastating, I think, except for 9/11. But that was a bomb made from fertilizer, and it was in a truck, and 168 people, as you recall, were killed in Oklahoma City. So they certainly watch out for fertilizer. They watch out for some of the chemical ingredients that bomb makers have been using more recently. And perhaps this bomb, if they can discover, as they're certainly trying to do now, what the ingredients were, how it was put together, that may prompt a further improvement in the Tripwire system.
And what exactly do you think they will be looking for now? Obviously that was a crime scene at the end of the finish line. They're trying to look at the materials that were made and then perhaps adjust this Tripwire system if something was missed, because as you're telling us with the Times Square bombing, it seems this program has been pretty successful in the past.
That's right. They'll be looking for the ingredients of that bomb. Now, last night we thought there was some initial information that maybe they had found other unexploded bombs elsewhere in Boston. And that, while certainly frightening, would have been valuable evidence for the authorities in terms of how these bombs were put together. But what we're now hearing is that probably these suspected explosives, not explosives, they were something else. So they're going to have to go through debris and try to figure out what the ingredients of the 2 bombs that we do know exploded, what those ingredients were.
All right, Peter, thanks so much for bringing it to us. An interesting Tripwire program that the FBI has been deploying. And of course, everybody can read much more about it on WSJ.com.